As much as today is about opposing America's aggressive foreign interventionism over the last 10 years, and about bringing our troops home from Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and, just yesterday, Uganda, as well as ending predator drone strikes on targets in Pakistan, Yemen, and Somalia, we should remember that this protest is also in solidarity with the Occupy Wall Street movement, which is going on in nearly 200 American cities and more than 25 countries, and in opposing the disparity of wealth and nearly 100 years of disastrous Federal Reserve policy. As much as this protest is about peace and gratitude and justice for our troops, it is about runaway military spending enabled by an administration with no courage to appear weak, even when what were once its staunchest supporters view such weakness as tolerance and modesty. As much as this protest is about decreasing spending on wars and occupation and using those savings to fund domestic social welfare programs, it is about a general awakening of the American people to the military and monetary policies which have put us in the situation we are in. As much as this protest is about opposing warmongers in both political parties, and opposing those who would exploit the financial crisis to justify the slashing of budgets in any and all areas, it is about opposing those who have allowed Wall Street to run rampant by endorsing bailouts of the big banks, which, on the surface, cost taxpayers $1 trillion, but whose total long-term cost has been estimated at upwards of $12 trillion, $5 trillion of which went to overseas banks, whether those who voted for TARP and TALF are Democrats or Republicans. As much as this protest is about the power of social media in catalyzing uprisings and revolutions, as the protests across North Africa and the Middle East showed us earlier this year, it is about recognizing the roots of these people's grievances, namely the $3 billion in military and economic aid which the United States spends to support the occupation of Palestine and the oppression of its people. As much as this protest is about uniting Americans who oppose our 7 ongoing wars, our 900-plus military bases in 135 countries, and our troops being stationed in 80% of the world's nations, whether they are Democrats, Republicans, independents, or apolitical, it is also about recognizing that our recklessly unbalanced budgets, our extravagant deficit spending, and our out-of-control borrowing are unsustainable. As much as this protest is about those things, it is about unity. Unity against the wars and unbalanced budgets, whatever our stance on social welfare, moral issues, or the Constitution. It is about recognizing that our disagreement about how to solve these economic problems threatens our ability to unite against what we agree are the problems, and to build a political environment in which we may work towards a policy experimentation which may allow us to see which solutions work best. We must understand that this protest is not about left versus right, and that what we are truly fighting against is the collusion between the well-established mainstream leaderships of both left and right, to frame every issue, make backroom deals that strategically compromise the principles of each side, and then put on a show for the media and the voters, allowing them to play the blame game, when all each party ever did was move money around to justify their own paychecks and their continued influence in government. This protest is about realizing that it was not only the banks that caused this financial crisis, and that it was not only the Bush and/or Obama administrations which caused it, but instead that all parties had the same interest at heart, which was to rob the American people for the remainder of their lifetimes in order to entrench the power and wealth of the establishment, the political establishment, the economic establishment, the military financial complex. So now that we know what the problem is, we must, as a nation, resolve to put aside our differences about social welfare, moral and constitutional issues, until we can defeat the military financial complex together, having formed a faithful, though tenuous, coalition between progressives, libertarians, and independents alike. In closing, this movement will destroy itself from within if it allows the relatively petty differences between its members and factions to let it splinter too soon, and the economies of the United States and of the world will be destroyed with it. So please, unite, and stay united until every bad policy has been repealed. And then, and only then, can we begin a serious, realistic, rational discussion about how to build this country over again. Thank you.